I rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fam's on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who we caught up in using what I was taught with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawing. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena on. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, I'll cast it like hey ya.
Yo, party people in the place to be, what's good? It's your main man, the number one chief rockin' Knicks universe, Uncle Freezie, and welcome to the premiere Knicks and the Nighttime show. The Knicks and Night podcast. Y'all want this party started right. Y'all want this party started quickly, right? What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? What's good, party people in the place to be? What's good? What's good? Man, got some surprises for y'all tonight. Got a lot to talk about. I'm gonna try to talk about a few things before we bring everybody up, and then we start talking about everything up under the sun. Right? Mega is in the building. Bully is in the building. Fritz Alcindor is in the building. What's good? Zulu is in the building. All right. Andre Walker's in the building. What's good, man? Andios, what's happening? 20 Sam in the building. What's good, y'all? So, at every trade deadline, organizations, in theory and in practice, I guess, reevaluate their roster and where they think their team is, right? Sometimes you can't figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Staffadan is in the building. Jake, what's good, man? So sometimes in the evaluation of the roster and a status report, kind of like a state of the team report, right? And so teams try to figure out where they are and what they can do to improve before they go into the summertime. Where clearly the Knicks have reevaluated. There are some things that are glaring for the Knicks. And when I say glaring, I don't mean bad. I just mean in need. For an example, both of the Knicks starting centers are hurt. One is really hurt and one is dinged up. But hurt means hurt. Hurt means hurt, y'all. You know what I mean? Hurt means hurt. And so another need for the Knicks is a another primary facilitator, point guard. No disrespect to Deuce. We like Deuce. I don't feel like he is playoff ready. And I think the Knicks don't feel like he's playoff ready. The Knicks could use quality veterans at the end of their bench that they could play in case of emergency. And for that reason, I think the Knicks are going to be aggressive at the trade deadline. D Block in the building. Hit him up is in the building. What's good? I don't, however, feel as if the Knicks have the stomach to pull a major trade off by the trade deadline. A lot Wise is in the building. Ralph Martinez, what's good, man? That's just a gossip right now, man. That's just a gossip right now. We don't know. I read a thing. I took a deep dive where a few people feel like the Orlando Magic are the leaders in the clubhouse for DeJounte Murray. So that just lets you know how many teams are interested. Keith Turner's in the building. So if you're the Knicks right now, do you bargain bin shop or do you go couponing? And they're not the same. The Smoking Nick is in the building. Rodolfo, what's good, man? Rodolfo, what's good, man? Good to see you. Do the Knicks go bargain bin shop dumpster diving or do they go couponing? I think for the past few days, I've been conflicted in a sense that I couldn't figure out exactly what their route was. Eddie C is in the building. I couldn't figure out what their route was, but the closer we get to the penultimate period to do trades, the clearer the picture is of what the Knicks want to do. The Knicks want to desperately add talent, but they don't want to spend all of their assets and resources. Soulfinger in the building. East Blue Drew's in the building. What's good, y'all? With that said, you can't blame the Leon Rose led front office for trying to upgrade the roster the best way they can. A mix of young players that have that dog in them, a mix of veterans that just want to go somewhere and compete. A mix of high upside players that didn't get a chance to do it with their normal team. Rodolfo says, I think the Knicks need to make sure the man they get to trade for as to fit the team for the right reasons. Let's go Knicks. Yeah, yeah. Of course, of course, of course. But I'm not getting ready. I'm not going to talk about nebulous stuff. I'm going to talk about target stuff. Right? Right now, I'm speaking to you not about nebulous stuff, not about what ifs, none of that stuff. I'm going to talk to you guys about the Knicks direction and why it's important as a Knicks fan to pay attention to the signs. All right, so sign number 1 is this. The Knicks already pulled off a big trade. How often do franchises pull off 2 or 3 big trades in one regular season? It rarely happens. The Knicks have already pulled off a big trade in their minds. How often do teams that want to compete for a championship pull off 2 or 3 big trades in one regular season? And I know the some of y'all that want to contribute to the conversation are going to say, "Hey, Uncle Freezie, teams do it all the time." Or some of y'all that just like to be, I'm saying, contrarians. Nothing wrong with that. Some people are just contrarians by nature. Some people are contrarians by nature. So as soon as I say that, they immediately hop to the other side, regardless what the other side is. Man, Uncle Freezie, Leon Rose got to do a trade, man. No, he don't have to. He don't have to do 2 major trades in 1 month. Right? You don't have to. Angelo was good. What I'm suggesting is that the Knicks are not going to prioritize Malcolm Brogdon. I don't think the Knicks are going to prioritize Marcus Smart. If you notice, I mentioned 2 veteran guards that are either injury prone or hurt right now. Our guy Malcolm Brogdon one day is probably going to be the president of the United States, right? Malcolm Brogdon, yep, that Malcolm Brogdon, the injury point, yep, that Malcolm Brogdon is probably one day going to be the president of the United States, right? But right now, he's an injury prone combo guard with a lot of playoff experience. Should the Knicks trade for Chris Paul? I don't think they will. Chris Paul's contract will be fully guaranteed for next season if it's picked up by June 28th. Draft night, I think, or something like that. But you could trade for that $28 million or whatever it is right now, and Chris Paul can be your veteran coming off the bench. If I'm Leon Rose and I want Chris Paul, I'm not letting Chris Paul get to the buyout market. Chris Paul already turned Leon Rose down once in this short regime. Marcus Smart is out 5 more weeks with his injury. So even if you trade for him, you won't be able to play him until March. So what does that leave? So what does that leave you at? Drip more. The barber is in the building. Johnny Davis, what's good? Dre Walker, what's good, man? Ralph Unreal is in the building. So what does that leave you if you're the Knicks? That leaves you in that precarious situation of guys that fit your system around the league want to play for you, right? I can see guys like Taylor Horton Tucker, Alex Caruso, Bruce Brown, Lonnie Walkers, guys like that are submitting their resume to come play for the Knicks right now. But do you need more of that if you're the Knicks? If you're the Knicks, do you need another 6'4" combo Swiss Army knife type player? If you're the Knicks, why not just trade a second round pick for Alec Burks? He knows the system. He knows Tibbs. He's played for this team before. He knows what a Knicks playoff run is going to look like and what's required. Why not just go get him? Why not? Make the cheap move, right? If you're the Knicks, make the easy, cheap move. The clear thing here, everybody, the clear thing for sure The clear thing for sure, Soul Finger's a riot, y'all. The clear thing is the Knicks are not trading for a star. Zach LaVine is probably not going to happen. If you think the Knicks are going to trade for Donovan Mitchell, it's not going to happen. If you think the Knicks are going to trade for Devin Booker, Joel Embiid, Karl Anthony Towns, it's not going to happen. What they may do, though, is go couponing Denny Avdija. They may go couponing Najee Marshall. If you think the Knicks are going to trade for Mikal Bridges, you're mistaken. DSJ is in the building. What's good, boss? If you think the Knicks are going to acquire DeJounte Murray, when the rumors were first floated out, I think we all bought into the DeJounte Murray to the Knicks thing. Until we found out that other teams see his value also. I think once the Knicks find out that DeJounte Murray has a ton of value around the league and they were going to be competing for his services with other NBA front offices, I think that eliminated us. The one thing that we know from this front office is the Knicks are not going to lose a bidding war. And this front office is not going to lose a bidding war because they're not going to get into one. They're not. In their mind, so it seems, is a deep roster over a top heavy one. This front office appears to value depth over top heavy roster. For those that don't understand what I'm saying, I'm saying this. This front office values a bunch of Meg Ryans over one Marilyn Monroe. This front office seems to value a bunch of Jodie Fosters over one Sophia Loren. And I'm not judging, whatever. Whatever. Who cares? As long as they do what they want to do the right way. Right? It's what it is, right? No disrespect to the front office. At least they have a plan. At least they have a plan. Right? That's their plan. Depth over a team being top heavy. Think about where we are. So, Knicks fans, we are about 15 days. We're about 16 days away from the trade deadline. And the Knicks seem to be what's the lady from I have a lady in my mind I'm trying to think of. What's her name? That's her name. Instead of the Knicks valuing a Cindy Crawford, right? Instead of the Knicks valuing a Cindy Crawford, they value a bunch of Julia Roberts. I don't care, whatever floats your boat. Instead of having one Cindy Crawford, who was fine, by the way, they value a bunch of Julia Roberts. And to me, there's nothing wrong with that. But what I'm saying to you as a Knicks fan is if you know this, if you know this, if you know this and you expect them to go out and get a Linda Carter, that's on you. The reason I'm saying this, and I don't want to piss on the party. I don't want to piss on the party. The reason why I'm saying this is the Knicks front office is standing the can up so that they can kick it down the road. And if you don't get a sense for this feeling, then you have not been watching the last 3 years or so of this regime. The Knicks value girls like the dark haired girl from Saved by the Bell. They want a bunch of Jessies, right, from Saved by the Bell. They don't want to go after Pamela Anderson. They just don't. But you know what? That's who they are. That's who they've always been. It's the reason why the Knicks right now. It's the reason why the Knicks right now have OG Anunoby, a quiet, unassuming, um, just a quiet, unassuming, hardworking, high upside guy. It's the reason why they have OG Anunoby instead of Donovan Mitchell. Now, does he fit? Yeah. Oh, hey, man, listen. I like OG Anunoby. I always have. I just never wanted to overpay for him. So prepare yourself, Knicks fan. Prepare yourself for a Woj bomb about Alec Burks, a really good guy, team player. We already know him. Prepare yourself for Alec Burks. Prepare yourself for AJ Griffin. They all fit like a certain mold. Shut up and go play type guy. I think it's the reason why Tom Thibodeau fell in love with Quentin Grimes. Shut up and go play. Play is play and be quiet. All I ask of you is 120% for all 47 minutes you're going to play tonight. Don't complain. Don't criticize the coach. Don't say anything about the organization. If you complain about anything, I'm going to bench you and take you out of the rotation. I'm not going to lie. I kind of like that. I kind of like that model of player, because the opposite of that type of player is Jordan Poole. I would not prefer Jordan Poole, bro. I would rather OG Anunoby than a Jordan Poole type player. The opposite of a Jordan Poole is a AJ Griffin. I think I prefer a AJ Griffin. Very smart, well coached, disciplined. Son of a coach. Tell me if you heard this narrative before. Just let me know if you heard this narrative before. Oh, I have a relationship with his dad that goes way back. I've known his dad for years. I learned a lot from being around his dad and in coaching circles. You know, the kid used to be around us walking through the locker room, and you know, it was, you know, I'm so attached to the kid that I knew one day he would be here playing on the biggest stage. Do y'all know who I'm talking about? Does that sound familiar? Y'all know who I'm talking about, right? I'm talking about Austin Rivers. I'm talking about Austin Rivers. But if it sounded familiar, it's a familiar theme. But so what? So what? My thing is, don't expect the Knicks to make the trade for Anthony Edwards. It's not happening. Don't expect the Knicks to trade for Joel Embiid at the deadline or during the summer. Don't expect the Knicks to trade for Devin Booker. That man spent 8 seasons in Phoenix, and he'll be, by the end of his career, he'll be the Phoenix Suns' all-time leading scorer and maybe the greatest Phoenix Suns player of all time. And you think the Knicks are gonna acquire him? You think he's gonna get mad and leave? Nah. Felicia Lee is in the building. What's good, Lee? Sherwin says, and Sherwin know everybody, bro. I knew it. Soon as I saw something over there, I was like, why Sherwin say, yeah, man, I went to school with Adrian Griffin. Sherwin know everybody. Sherwin says his dad was never around for games. Isaiah Thomas was around. Right. Don't expect the Knicks to make the monster move. But here's the thing. Expect the teams around us to make the monster moves. The Orlando Magic are 1 or 2 guards away from being as good as the Boston Celtics. And if you don't believe that, if you don't believe it, just watch. The Orlando Magic, one or two impact guards away from being as good as the Boston Celtics. Whether they get that player in the draft or in free agency or via trade, when it happens, it's on. I don't think Chicago is going to do anything. I think Chicago's front office is inept. I think Chicago. Well, let me rephrase that. If Chicago front office does something, they're going to do everything. If they do something, they're going to do everything. I legit wouldn't be surprised if Chicago did nothing or everything. Right? I would not be surprised to see DeMar DeRozan in Indiana. Right? I legit would not be surprised to see DeMar DeRozan or Zach LaVine in Philadelphia. I legit would not be surprised to see Alex Caruso in Phoenix. Atlanta, on the other hand, they just want to get value for their assets. I wouldn't be surprised to see Atlanta trade DeJounte Murray to Milwaukee. Wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. Wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. I think the teams around us are going to make major moves. Don't ask me how I know. I just have a sense. I have a feeling. You know how you walk in a room and you have a feeling for the vibe in the room? That's how I feel right now. I just have a sense for it. I have a feeling, I have a vibe. Some glitchy all of a sudden, y'all. Hold on. I got to work on some stuff. Things getting glitchy on me really quick. Let me see if I can fix something. I just have a sense that I have a sense that major moves soon come. Some major moves are coming, but the Knicks won't be a part of it. And Knicks fans are going to support it. I think you guys are going to support whatever it is that the Knicks are doing. I have something running in the background. It's got me all glitchy. Yeah, I got something going on in the background with the browser. Sorry about that, y'all. Lee says Knicks not trading to help the Lakers because Knicks don't take on pricey contracts like D'Angelo Russell. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, man. I think the move is Adrian Griffin from the Hawks and some value point guard from somewhere. I think that's it. Those are the moves. Dennis Schroeder. Sherwin says Murray tonight, 35, 10, and 6. Yep. And he's probably going to be doing that for the Milwaukee Bucks. For the Orlando Magic. But the Knicks already made their major move for the year. OG Anunoby. That's just what it is. The Knicks move, Adrian Griffin, and something. I could see the Knicks going after a Torrey Craig, maybe a Marcus Smart, maybe a Derrick Jones Jr., AJ Griffin, but nothing major. Because the Knicks are legit kicking the can down the road. I thought I was going to have a special guest tonight. I think Coach Malpica was hitting me up, man. and saying that he wanted to jump on and rock with you guys. I hadn't heard anything, so Sherwin says that the Knicks need a big shooting guard. Sherwin, I'm with you on that. Right. Yeah, Lee, I know. I saw it. I saw the initial prognosis was 6 weeks and all of that stuff. I think I think you can trade for or trade an injury player as long as it's disclosed. That's how we traded Porzingis to Dallas with the torn ACL. But I don't know if they do it because it doesn't help us in the short or immediate term. Right. Well, let me back up a little bit. Could help us in the intermediate term, definitely not in the short term. In the short term, he's hurt. He's out. So I get it. And Bully says DeMar DeRozan. I don't understand. I don't know how DeMar DeRozan would fit with a team that needs a ball handler. And I'm talking about a perfect fit. I'm not talking about he could do such and such and such.
Yo.
What's up, boss?
I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling. Salute, Freezie. Salute to the chat.
So you don't get any reverb, right? You just get a
Mm,
clear mic.
yeah. I'm clear. You
Okay.
anything for me? Oh wait,
Nah,
you have a new
man.
mic or anything?
Nah, man. We good. We good.
Okay, cool.
Mm, man, I went shoe shopping today,
Yeah.
man, and then I come back, man, and mm, human beings passing stuff back and forth to each other. Now I'm up here in the middle of the night eating peppermints and voice all
Uh,
scratchy.
oh man.
Yeah,
Now you. Hey, look. I'm wishing you a strong recovery.
yeah, man. I gotta be Speedy McPhilly, bro. That's what I gotta do, man.
The life train never stops.
Nope, nope, nope. Hey, how are you feeling about the trade rumors? DeJounte Murray to Milwaukee and AJ Griffin to the Knicks.
That's a rumor, or did you put that
Yeah,
together? I,
no, both of them. I checked both of them before I jumped on.
oh, I never. But what do the Bucks even have to offer? They don't have any picks.
Yeah, championships, bro.
But they have no picks. They don't have a young player that anybody's really interested in. The only way you make that money work is with like Bobby Portis, and I
Yeah,
don't. Uh, I mean, it seems if a championship contender wants to get a guy, they usually go out and get them.
right.
It, the whole Dame to the Bucks kind of came out of nowhere after the Heat were on his trail for months. See, it felt like years. So I don't know about that one, but I hope it doesn't happen. But they sorely need some point of attack defense.
Yeah, Yeah.
Uh, we're in like this awkward space where it's like I see what the Knicks organization is trying to do, where they're trying to. It's hard to do two things at once. Where
Right.
they're trying to compete at a very high level while maintaining flexibility for this superstar we have no idea who it could be
Yeah.
to jump on. And I mean, I get it, I understand it, but they got to make a move at some point because not having like Brunson being our only reliable ball handler, and even he's been having an uptick in turnovers
Yeah.
despite his amazing play, but he's having an uptick in turnovers. Like it's not feasible to keep running these guys out there 38 minutes.
Yeah.
We need to get somebody in here stat.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I'm just wondering. I saw the news about Hartenstein. I'm already gonna assume he's not gonna play tomorrow
Yep.
or today, later today, which is
Yep.
cool. Like I believe it's the same injury he was like playing through last year,
Oh.
and I think there was a money incentive as to why he played every game last year for his contract. So but we'll see. We'll see how he does.
You talking about the sore Achilles he
Yeah,
played through?
yeah.
If it's that,
He has
bro.
a sore. He has a sore Achilles right now.
See, I thought it was a sprained ankle.
No, 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 no. According to the Knicks themselves, it was Achilles
Oh.
tendinopathy. So it means
Yeah,
he has
that's 30 games, bro.
no, no,
That's
no, 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 no. It's not 30 games. It's just a little. So it's remember Jalen Brunson went out for the calf, and his description was it was a sore calf, aka calf tendinopathy. It was just sore, like he needs to take a few games off. But
okay.
it's not one of those things where he's gonna be out the season. Like put it this way, if it was the playoffs, they'd hit him with a cortisone shot and he'll play. But since it's the regular season, they're just going to err on the side of caution. Maybe give him a night off. If they give him a night off, that'll be like 5 nights before he has to get beat up by Jokic on Thursday. So
Yeah.
I think it'd be
When did we play Dallas? We played Dallas Thursday, right?
no. We play the Nuggets on Thursday. Then we play on Saturday. Hold on, I'll tell you right now. 1 second. Play the Nuggets on Thursday. The Heat on Saturday.
Hmm.
Then the Hornets on following Monday. Then the Jazz on a back to back. Then the Pacers, Lakers, Grizzlies. Then the Mavericks. Mavericks. I believe Mavericks are one of the last few games before the All Star break. One of the last
Okay.
few.
Okay.
We have about like 10 plus games before the All Star break.
Okay.
But I think we should err on the side of caution with him. I don't think we need Hartenstein to beat the Nets. If we do need Hartenstein to beat the Nets, there's a lot of problems we got going.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw the Nets last game, but they were up 12, I believe, or 13, I believe, with 5 minutes to go, and they lost on a 22-0 run.
Because they trash. It's not even Jock Vaughn, bro. I went on Big Fan Breezy's channel just to listen, and they are crucifying Jock Vaughn. Right.
Everybody blames the coach. It
Right.
seems, even me, even me.
Right.
I think everybody's unhappy with coaching. I remember just seeing. This might be crossover to different sports, but like people will be talking down on Andy Reid like he didn't just win a Super Bowl.
Right. Right.
so, so I think the fan in this day and age, when you have access to all these games and film and data and opinions, everybody feels like their coach isn't the right coach.
Right. Right.
And some of it is justified. Some of it isn't.
Um.
This may fall into the category with the Nets where it might not be so justified.
What I would say to this trade deadline thing,
Hmm.
is we have to get a guy that's going to fit our offense and defensive schemes.
Like a glove.
The energy guy thing seems like it should fit in all offenses and defenses. They don't. Look at Jeremy Sohan from San Antonio.
Oh, trash.
Energy guy, right? High energy guy wants to make plays. It doesn't always work.
So
There-
he's like 6'8", Josh Hart with hair
y-
down.
yeah, it's like the Legion of Boom, right? The reason why the Legion of Boom worked. Cam Chancellor could freestyle and do all the stuff he wanted to do because Earl Thomas may have been the greatest free safety to ever play professional football.
The greatest ever.
Yeah, he's in that conversation, in my opinion. Right. The
Uh,
reason why is the one deep safety that allows you to put the other safety in the box. That
mhm.
means that one safety has to cover everything deep in the deep middle. All deep middle is one guy.
I
And
can agree. I think he was the best of like maybe the last 15 years. But I gotta give Ed Reed, like Ed Reed is the greatest. Well, greatest I've ever seen. You
right.
you may have seen Ronnie Lott
No,
live.
Ed Reed is better than Ronnie Lott.
Oh, okay. Well, then there you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, hey man, Ed Reed is better than and the reason why I would say that, and I know it's off topic, right?
Mhm.
But the reason why, and you know who else I'm gonna say a name that's very underrated? Ryan Clark. The
Thumper.
reason the reason why Sean Taylor could do all that stuff in the box is because Ryan Clark covered a lot of ground behind him. The reason why Troy Polamalu could freelance and do all that stuff is because Ryan Clark was, you know what I'm saying?
Super
So the,
smart.
the point the point that I'm getting at is is the Knicks shouldn't trade for a Taylor Horton Tucker
No.
just because he is a 6'4", 245-pound guard, right? But he just don't fit.
The premium that we're missing is the size slash skill premium, not the energy. We have a lot of guys with energy. We're trying to cross the size and the skill together at this point. So like when we talk about how like the Knicks are super intrigued in Bruce Brown, he may have more traditional guard skills, right, than say a guy like Josh Hart, but he's still not the guy you want to be initiating repeatedly, like in a high leverage playoff game. Because while he was the backup point guard for the Nuggets, he still had Jokic to lean on a lot. Like Jokic was the offense, whereas our offense is based on Brunson Randall create an advantage, hit the open 3-point shooter. It's very cut and dry. It's very direct, right? And the average playmaker in the league, with all 10 eyeballs of the defense looking at them, can't really thrive under those conditions, which is why Brunson and Randall are very, very good basketball players.
Right.
Tibbs puts them in position to be under heavy pressure consistently. And they win the mismatches often. They create advantages often. I don't think the
Right.
average guy you come and bring in off the bench can do that. There's a reason why I quickly thrived in that role, or that he was good at it, because when he comes off the bench, he's told be aggressive, attack, create advantages, score, and play make for others. And not everybody has the ability to do that consistently
Right.
against teams that are loading up.
Right. Um.
And and I was gonna say, like, on paper, if we're not gonna target the star, it probably would be Brogdon, but I don't know if that's ever gonna happen. Like on paper, it fits the most ideal. But for guys that are non-stars, that is. But
Yeah.
I don't know if that'll ever get done because it seems the asking price is going up and up.
Right.
But but we're a ways from the deadline. I believe the deadline is on the 8th.
Yeah.
Things will come to a head at some point.
Right.
Either teams will be forced
The
to
Knicks are going to wind
buy
up
high
giving up.
or yeah,
No
go ahead.
lie, the Knicks are going to wind up for DeJounte Murray. The Knicks will wind up giving up 3 first-round picks for DeJounte Murray. Right.
That's what his value is going for. Because
Right.
you're also like when you get in DeJounte, you're not just paying for the player, you're paying for the future flexibility. It's the
Right.
reason why OG was here so early for the ability to lock him into a contract and extend him as soon as
Right.
possible. So it's one of those things where yeah, the player itself, what he brings to you on the court matters, but off the court in terms of salary and cap maneuvers and things going forward to make yourself a sustainable winner, you're paying for that ability ahead of time or earlier. So so when we talk about like, yo, I don't want to give up 3 first round picks for Dejounte. Ideally, I would not want to do that. Hopefully, if we were to have him, hopefully, it would be 2 picks, right?
Right.
But you're not just paying for Dejounte the player; you're paying for his contract, the ability to use him in a trade for a bigger star. You're paying for that alone, and that might be
Right.
unfortunately for the Hawks. Like the Hawks want, like I don't know if the Hawks want to trade him. Dejounte had like 35 last I checked. He was balling tonight. They lost, but you're not just paying for the player itself. You're paying for that contract and the future flexibility that it offers you. And the other front offices know that they're not doing these deals with just oh we just think Dejounte is a really good player and he's just worth this. No, it's a little bit more nuanced to it.
Right. 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 No doubt.
So if it comes down to it and it's like one of our picks, the Bucks pick, the Wizards pick, then so be it. Ideally, I would just love to give up just 2. They can have Grimes, they can have Fournier for salary, but you never can really tell how it's gonna shake out. And
Right.
JJ, I'm answering JJ. I don't think Colin Sexton. Matter of fact,
Hey, hold on. Hold
we
on. Before we do that, let's stay on DeJounte Murray just real quick.
okay.
Just before we do that.
Spiral out of
Um.
control a little bit
Now, I was gonna just say just real quick the DeJounte Murray thing is his price is escalating because he's
rapidly.
the king of the market right now. Also,
Mhm.
right? If there were if for an example, if Anthony Edwards were on the market right now, I don't think DeJounte Murray's asking price would be 3 first-round picks, right?
Yeah,
But since he's the king of the market, right? Since he's the king of the market, I absolutely think that his price is going to be that and more unless teams fall out of the bidding,
mhm.
right? Say for instance, if Orlando pulls off this, so I was on
Orlando
some
got whooped tonight.
him,
Orlando got whooped tonight.
yeah, but there, so I was on a Orlando fan page thing just to see what they're gonna do,
Mhm.
and if they pull off the trade for Anthony Simons, bro, if if,
Ooh,
if they could get Anthony Simons to come home, if they pulled that off, then the market for DeJounte Murray is now just
one less team.
yep, one less suitor pushing the price to outer space, right? And
But
so
in Atlanta's mind, it's like, okay, we don't have to trade him. We'll just trade him in the offseason or in the summer. But who knows what the actual value might get back because it's one less year on a contract.
right.
It's
And
less
see
time for the other team to pivot and trade him.
and see the thing is with rolling the dice, you want to roll the dice when you hot, right? Like for those that roll dice, you want to roll the dice when you hot. You don't want to watch somebody else rolling the dice when they're hot. You don't want to do that. And the
Mhm.
example I'm giving is this, right? The value of your picks are the value of your picks until the picks get into the conversation, right? But when these college kids get to March Madness and we start seeing them on TV more and more and more and more and more, they may not be better than DeJounte Murray, but they get more exposure now, right? Like, for instance, every year during March Madness, about 10 kids come from out of nowhere and get on the draft radar.
Mm.
Every year, it's about 10 kids. And I'm not saying 10 kids that become first round picks. What I'm saying, 10 kids that you hadn't heard of, maybe they were ranked 75, 80, and then they have a big March Madness, and now they're
Like
in
like
that.
like Dame. Just
Yeah,
out of nowhere, just pop up.
yeah,
Like you look up, this guy is sixth on the draft board.
like quickly.
Yeah,
Like, people didn't know who Quickly was. And then Quickly goes from being in that 75 to 85 range to that 20 to 40 range, right? And if you have picks in the 20s and 40s, 20 through 40s, what if you have multiple picks 20 through 40? What if you were going to trade those 20 through 40s for DeJounte Murray, right? Do you now, knowing what value you can get for these picks, still trade for DeJounte Murray? Or do you say, hey, you know what? DeJounte Murray was selected 29th in his draft. And chat, guess what? Guess where the number 29 falls on the scale of numbers
second
between
to
20 and
last.
40?
Oh, second. Oh, I was gonna say second to last in the first round, but 20 to
Yeah,
40.
yeah. It falls between 20 and 40. So do you pass up on a potential DeJounte Murray or two or three of them, which is highly unlikely, but y'all get the scenario. You get what I'm saying when I say two or three of them, right? Right?
Yeah, it's like why would I? Even though DeJounte Murray is a very good contract,
Yeah.
it's like I could develop a guy to be DeJounte in a year and a half from now,
Yep. Yep.
and he's making $2.5 million.
$2.5 million. I can legit draft Jimmy Butler at 30 and have somebody better than DeJounte Murray. I can draft a GG Jackson,
Oh, that stings.
right? I could draft a GG Jackson. Listen, man, we saw GG Jackson play live, bro. Is he arrogant and cocky? Yes. Is his family unpleasant? I'm not gonna say go that far. It just, they're proud of their kid. Let me just put it that way. GG Jackson, they're proud of their kid. I don't want to go all, you know what I'm saying, rumor mill and all of that stuff. Are they proud of their are they proud of their kid? Yes. Right? Let me just put it like that. Right? But if you're a Leon Rose and you see the asking price for DeJounte Murray is Fournier's contract, which is, to me, Fournier's contract is more valuable than the first round picks, right? I know
Yeah.
people don't understand the contract value thing. All they look at is Evan Fournier. I hate Evan Fournier haircut. Get him out of here. It's not about him. It's about his contract, right?
I don't know if they exactly cut hair off his head. I don't know what they cut, but anyway.
I don't know what they doing, bro. I don't know what they Fournier, bro. You in New York, bro. You can't find a barber. But anyways, do I trade Fournier's contract that I can put in a package for a star, Quentin Grimes, on a cheap contract? You know what he is. 3 first-round picks for DeJounte Murray. Or do I take my chances on drafting 3 more Quentin Grimes type players?
It's one of those things where it's like 9 times out of 10, teams that trade for a guy and then try to trade him again don't get the same return that they gave out.
No.
Like the Hawks are trying to get back the same return that they gave out for DeJounte. Odds are, like, his valuation around the league is like, you're not going to get that back. You might get 2, right? But they're aiming for 3.
Right.
As they should.
And they'll probably get 1.
Oof.
right? They'll probably get one and some expiring contracts. It's probably what they're from the championship contenders. The championship contenders,
Don't the
most of them,
championship contenders don't have all that to offer in the first place.
right? Yeah, that's my point. Yeah,
And if you're rebuilding, you're like, what is what is DeJounte gonna do for my rebuilding team? Like the Spurs were rebuilding, we're like, you know what? Yeah, you can go, DeJounte. We'll trade you. We're just gonna start over.
yeah, yeah. They let as soon as they told Tony Parker they weren't going to sign him back, that was the end of their dynasty. As soon
Yeah.
as you saw Tony Parker sign with Charlotte, right? You remember when the first year DeJounte Murray was the backup, and then the second year they reversed roles, and Tony Parker was coming off the bench and he was mad, right? And then
Crazy.
Tony Parker left and went to Charlotte. Instead of being a tutor, a mentor for DeJounte Murray, he pouted and left and went to Charlotte.
That man
Right.
bolted.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So if you're the Knicks, Dre, this is what I think the Knicks need, right? And it's going to be multiple things. So chat, y'all stay with me, right? Just be patient with me as I outline this. The Knicks need a tall bucket getter, right? A GG Jackson type build, right? A 6'7", 6'8", 6'9", 6'10" bucket getter. Not a big, but off the wing, right? And I don't mean 35 a game, right? I'm talking about like 14 a game.
Microwave.
Yep. Yep. They need that type of guy, right? Because, and I'm just going to outline it, because what teams do, and y'all don't recognize it, but you will once I point this thing out. And now I'm not saying it because I'm a genius, because I'm not. I'm just pointing it out because sometimes we get so much information. Sometimes some info slips by us. You know how you study? It's like, you know how you study for your final exam, and you can study for a week, and then you get a question on the exam, and you just don't remember studying. You just don't remember seeing it. You're like, I don't even remember seeing it. You know, we need a big scoring wing player, because other teams take their big long wing defenders
And put them on
and
Brunson.
put them on Brunson, and they wear Brunson down.
Mhm.
Right. And so by getting a Kelly Oubre type of, you know, ideally a Alec Burks type scorer, right? You make the wing defenders now, you take some of the energy out of their tank. So when they get back to Brunson, they're just not fired up on Brunson.
I was gonna say, Freezy, you could an example tonight was that Celtics Mavs game where it was like there was no place for Luca to hide because they just had big guards or big players that could score. All of them could score,
Right.
or where there were reliable threats. And then
Yeah.
because of that, you couldn't just throw a Derrick Jones Jr. on everybody. You can't just throw
Right.
a Josh Green on everybody.
Right. Right.
And then you watch the game and Luca got killed tonight on defense. Just dismantled because he actually had to guard somebody his size.
Right. Right. So excuse me, y'all. So you get that guy, right? So you get that wing scorer. I don't know who he is. Do you have anybody in mind? Is Terrence Ross still in the league?
Terrence Ross retired.
Ah,
But you know who is available?
no.
Alec Burks.
Alec Burks. There it is.
The funny part about all of this, Freezy, the reason why like we go on 4 or 5 minute spurts without a field goal is because we don't have that type of guy. We just don't have a bucket. The guy that can spell it or get rid of a dry spell.
Right.
Where it's just like, oh, none of our sets are working. We're missing wide open threes. We don't have a guy that's like, yo, besides Brunson and Randall, That's like, yo, clear out the side, let him go to work, see if you can get something.
How do you feel about Doug McDermott?
he's he's not well. It depends on what you consider a bucket because right now he's really just 3-point specialist. He has
Right.
the ability, but it isn't like who should I compare him to? The guy off the Suns. Uh, he isn't like I'm drawing blanks on this guy's name at this current juncture. He's a specialist, but he isn't like Grayson Allen or something, where he can
Okay.
put a couple moves together and get a hook shot up or get a mid range shot up. He's just really a specialist. And unfortunately, when we talk about like these guys, Freezy, and how Tibbs will implement them, Tibbs will just straight up clear out a side and let a guy go to work and
And
just
let
let him
him go
go
to
pick and
work.
roll.
Yeah.
That's not really Dougie McBuckets. Dougie McBuckets is the guy that benefits from someone else being the sun,
Right.
and he's
But
just an orbiter.
basically.
He's an orbiter, whereas someone he doesn't have his own gravity individually. And for how we use guys like that don't have their own individual gravity in isolation, we make them sit in corners or above the break
Right.
for three. Because
Right.
if Tibbs doesn't trust you with the ball in your hand to create something or create an advantage, he'd rather sit you in the corner and make sure you stay right there, stay warm, keep your hands ready.
Right.
It's a catch a ball. Because other
Right.
than that, if you're not able to create consistently or create an advantage, he's not going to give you the ball just so you can turn it over.
It's
He's just not going to do that.
Tibbs is running the read option offense. You know how you know the read option offense in football, right? Like you've seen it before, right?
Yeah,
And so that's what we're running at times. Like we run a lot of pick and roll. We run a lot of rub screens. When Tibbs wants to get Grimes going, he'll run the double zoom screen out of the corner where Grimes comes out of the corner and turns the corner to get in the paint. But I think the Knicks and I are on the same page because now that I think about it while you were speaking, I think that's the reason why the Knicks have interest in Bogdanovich from Detroit.
yeah,
Right, right. Just a 6'6", 6'7" wing scorer that can get a bucket, no expectations, just you know what I'm saying, smart scorer, professional scorer. It's like you know how you like Chad. You know how you watch.
you might cut out freely. You might have touched the mute on your mic or something. I can't hear you. Cannot hear you. No, I can't. Nope, nothing.
There it is. So you're right.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
You're can
I
you
can, I can hear you.
right? But you know how you watch golf,
Yeah.
and there's always one or two great golfers,
Hmm.
but it's always 10 or 12 professional golfers hot on their trail every week.
Yeah.
That's the type of player that's what they need. Like, you know, a guy that's gonna get you a legit 15 points a game. And Evan Fournier used to be that guy,
Yeah.
ironically.
He used to be able to initiate, but he lost the step, and now that he's out of sync and out of rhythm, on top of the fact he plays terrible defense, it's hard. Like the juices are worth the squeeze to get him rolling because in the amount of time that it'll take him to get going, he's already given up a couple layups on the other hand. We
Right.
saw him the other night just chucking, and he was just out of sync, out of rhythm, but not playing defense either. And
Yeah.
Tibbs ain't got no time for that. Tibbs just wants a
He don't
professional
have
bucket
patience.
right
Tibbs
now.
ruined him.
Yeah.
Tibbs ruined him, and he can't say anything other than that. Tibbs ruined him, right? But here's my thing too, though. So the Knicks need that professional scoring wing player, a Bogdanovich type, right? What they also need is a veteran point guard presence off the bench. Veteran. point guard. I'm talking about Ish Smith.
I think Freezie, because we're not in the first apron or the second apron, we're gonna be in that buyout market. So we're gonna pick up someone after the deadline. Someone that gets
Right,
bought out a week or two after the deadline.
right.
We're gonna pick up someone after that deadline, probably bring them in during the
But
All Star break.
here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
The buyout market is treacherous because it's like a auction house, right? Everybody in the building got bread, right? Everybody in the have a vested interest, right? It's not like the flea market where anybody can walk in the door and you don't know who got money and who don't. You know what I'm saying? Whatever.
Well. Depending on the people, most of the contenders are not at the front of the line for buyout players because of the CBA. Whereas we have the opportunity to get someone that might be pretty decent because we're not at that threshold. Like for instance, the Clippers can't get anybody in the buyout market. The Celtics can't either. The Bucks cannot.
Right.
Like a lot of
Right.
these high end teams can't they just can't because of how their cap is set up. Like we have the opportunity. Like I put it this way, Freezy. Say it's February the 24th, right? And Gordon Hayward got bought out.
Right.
We probably are the most cap flexible team out of all the teams in the top 5 of each conference
Right.
to add on a guy like that. Would you? Because
Yes.
that's the description of what you're looking
Yes.
for.
Yep. Absolutely. But what I was going to tell you is just keep in mind
Mhm.
that of the 17 or 18 teams that are going to compete for playoff spots, before you get to the trade deadline, they're going to be moving around money so that they can get the asset before the trade deadline or in the trade market.
Mhm.
Right? The smart front offices are going to do that. The 18 teams that are going to vie for the 16 spots, that's absolutely what they're doing. Shedding salary or acquiring the player outright. And then, because what you're saying is absolutely correct. I'm with you. There are going to be 4 teams that are going to be so packed, so tight that they won't be able to participate in the buyout market. But that leaves 13 other teams, though. You know what I'm saying? The Indianas, you know what I'm saying? The Knicks, the New Orleans of the world, and all the small market teams that never go over the cap. They're going to be cutting guys that are on partial guaranteed contracts and things like that. Like for instance, if Chris Paul is a buyout candidate, right? Nobody can convince me that New Orleans is not gonna do everything they can to bring in Chris Paul because he's actually the missing. Chris Paul is the stone that the builder refused for them, right? They had him, they threw him away. They built up all this stuff over the years, and now that they're ready, the piece they're missing is a veteran Chris Paul type point guard.
For only 10 to 15 minutes. They don't really need much more than
They
that.
they don't need him for 30 minutes. He ain't gonna give you. He ain't got 30 minutes
Yeah,
in him, bro.
his body ain't got that. So.
Yeah, he
But
gonna give you them 12 minutes, and he gonna be and see. But the thing about a Chris Paul, and what I'm telling Knicks fans is, what Chris Paul brings, you can't go buy it from Foot Locker, right? You can't go find it in your library, right? What Chris Paul gives a team, you can't find it on the internet, right? Chris Paul gives you the Chris Paul is the king of intangibles. He and Kyle Lowry, the king of intangibles.
they running him out of Miami though. I saw you on Big Tone. Shout out to Big Tone. I saw you
Yeah,
on Big Tone. They're over there panicking,
man, I was so tired, bro. I was so.
man. Shout out
Uh,
to Big Tone.
yeah. So for those that don't know, right? So I have a sales company that I own, and then on the side, um, um, I have a production company that I'm working on, And so I'm working on a treatment where just stuff, right? And I was like, yo, I'm gonna just get up here for a few minutes. Stay up here talking trash. I'm gonna just talk trash when I'm full of it. Man, I got up there and it was like the fly on the fly paper.
Mhm.
I was like, oh boy. But
You wanted to throw a rock in their shoe, but they already got boulders in their shoes, man. So
they got big ass shoes. You know what I'm saying?
so you already were just like, okay, y'all got to tone it down, man. It's January.
Yeah,
I don't-
relax, bro. It's January. Y'all up here trying to fire Spo and trade everybody. But
I thought the funny part that I was listening to, they were like, these guys were getting 30 in the G League. If I was there, I would have been like, Deuce McBride averaged a 30-point triple double in the damn G League. That doesn't
for like a
necessarily.
week and a half, right? For like a 10-day stretch.
And not even just that. He would come back up and then go back down there and drop 30, and then come back
Yep.
a month later and drop 30. Because there's just
Yep.
that level of talent. Super, like he's just beyond that. But he's in that gray area where it's like you're dominant in the G League, but you're so up here. And it's just like you're not even gonna get the opportunity to perform like that at this level anyway.
Right.
So
Right.
you gotta temper your or temper your expectation for guys like that, like just fringe NBA players.
Right. And
It's
pardon
a,
me, y'all, with these Mets, man.
yeah, it's part of the reason
Yeah,
why like a guy like Jose Alvarado got like a 4-year contract for like $8 million, and he barely plays at times, even when he's healthy.
right. Right.
He is
Right.
situational, just like Deuce is.
Very situational.
It's just the
Impactful, but
problem.
situational.
Yeah, but yeah, like he has a niche,
Yeah.
but sometimes that niche isn't always useful. Like more talented players are always going to be in demand, and while we're in the situation that we're in right now, Deuce is situational. As soon
Yeah.
as we get that big two guard that you're talking about, Freezy, or
Caleb
big
Houston.
guard,
Yeah.
or big guard in general, Deuce's minutes is just gonna disappear.
Yeah.
Fade
And
for a bit.
and just real quick, the other thing that I feel like we need outside of the playmaking veteran point guard,
Yeah.
right, is another big athletic wing defender, right? And I'm talking about
You
and
saw Herb
listen,
Jones on the market, huh?
yeah, they took him off quick. You saw they snatched him off the market quick.
It's like they put out feelers and then too many people were calling, so they had to.
Yeah, man.
It's like maybe this isn't the right idea.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that they're gonna trade somebody though.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
they
they're
have
gonna
to.
be
It's a glut over there. Like there's too many guys getting paid at this current juncture
they have interest in Quentin Grimes, right?
because he's cheap.
Yeah, they're the heaviest interest from Quentin Grimes that I saw just by perusing the internet. Atlanta Hawks, New Orleans Pelicans.
And both front offices don't want to go over the tax. Well,
Right.
neither want
Yeah.
to. That's why they have the interest in. That's why they want to move guys that make 15 million or more, just to replace them with cheap, manageable talent.
If I'm Leon Rose, bro, I gotta ask them about Trey Murphy, man. I have
Trey
to.
Murphy would answer so many questions on this roster, but he's
Yep.
gonna get paid. He's getting paid
Yeah.
just because of
I
his archetype.
yep.
Whereas it's not exactly OG. Like he's like slightly less on the defense in terms of the sliders, but way more on the
Right.
offense. But
Yeah.
they're in the same arc. Like they're going to be paid the same amount, about the same amount. In my
If
mind,
that man can get his handle together, and the thing
he's
about
slowly getting it together too. He's slowly getting it together.
yeah, I was gonna say the thing about his handle is the handle is there, but it's reckless. So with him, he's a rough diamond when it comes to the handles. Like it's there. You just gotta polish it up, right? But I saw him make a move. His body took off and left the ball, bro. I was like, oh God. You know what I'm saying? So the burst is there, the handle was there. He just gotta put it all together.
he looks like a fluid athlete. Like even though
Yeah.
OG is a hell of an athlete, he's just not fluid.
Yeah.
He
OG
gets
is a strong athlete,
he's
and he's a
very strong.
strong athlete, bro.
But there
Coming
was
out of high school,
there
bro,
were
they were
some
talking
things I
about
saw. Some things I saw from him from the last game where he got to his mid range. I'm not gonna lie, it looked a little bit Kawhi like. Of course, he's never gonna be that, but when he got
well,
to his mid
part of
range,
that
he
is
got a
because
shot off.
we don't part of that is we've never seen we hadn't seen a small forward in 50,000 years.
A real small forward,
Yeah, these are the
not guys
things.
6'6" playing small forward.
Yeah, what OG Anunoby is doing for us right now, offensively, is he is an average NBA small forward. That's it, right? OG's not going out there dropping 37 on 21 shots. He not doing that. He is putbacks, wide open threes, pull ups.
Bully
That's what
and bully straight to the rim. I'm gonna move you out the way, and then I'm gonna finish.
right. Yeah, that's average NBA small forward stuff. Now, what he offers defensively is beyond average NBA wing
He's
player
giving
stuff.
you Harrison Barnes on offense, but he's giving you all NBA defense
Yeah,
in the same
yeah,
token,
yeah, and
which gets paid a lot. You pay a lot for
that
those
and
types of things.
for that reason, I'm saying if we add another player in that archetype, I think we can beat Boston.
Mm. Yeah, because you need two of them to handle the
You need
Jays.
two of them because one of them. The thing we noticed with Tatum and Brown is, or what we noticed about Boston is, Brown and Derek White can get hot. Tatum and Porzingis can get hot, right? White and Porzingis can get hot, but you rarely see nights where it's Brown and Tatum hot at the same time.
Saw it tonight though,
Yeah, it's what I'm saying is rarely though.
and that's because they didn't have the bodies to guard both of them.
Yeah,
The Mavs did. That's
yeah.
why Luka was out there just getting cooked up because they put the other guy, DJ, Derrick Jones, and he was getting cooked too. So
He
it
can't.
didn't
Yeah, he
really
can't
matter.
guard nobody, bro. That dude's 205. They list that man at 6'7". That man is like 6'5", 205. Man,
John,
he plays.
he jumps real high to make up the difference
Oh
though.
yeah, yeah. But so does Kenyon Martin. Kenyon Martin is the same archetype. Another name I'm putting out there on the Knicks radar, right?
Okay, Martin Jr.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Another name I'm
I
putting
was
out
thinking
there.
about his father. I'm like, wait, he's been gone a minute.
Oh no, oh, yeah, yeah. I'm putting that name out there as a guy extremely deep off the bench, probably expire.
You know,
Probably,
you could have signed like a Kelly Oubre for nothing in the offseason.
yeah. But Oubre's a starter, bro. Oubre's a starter that comes off the bench for good playoff teams. But Kelly
He
Oubre,
starts for the Sixers right now.
yeah, yeah, I know.
I don't see the Sixers going very far in the playoffs. They might win a round though.
I think they're gonna shock people, bro. I wouldn't be surprised if
If you
they
saw them
traded
in
for.
a conference finals,
I wouldn't be surprised if they traded for Kelly Oubre. I mean,
no,
not
the
Kelly Oubre, but
Sixers.
Dejounte Murray. Dejounte Murray. I'm sorry.
Oh, ooh,
I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't. And so
ooh.
they have the assets because they pulled off a trade recently.
Tobias Harris can go as far as he's too much in salary. He makes like
Y-
$37 million,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah. Nah. You,
that
you
actually
would do,
makes sense. And then you could push Tyrese down to the two.
or let them play point, or let both combo guards do whatever. Because you
Ooh,
don't necessarily in today's NBA, in my opinion, you don't necessarily need a shooting guard. You need an off guard.
you just need a guard by
Yeah,
definition,
that
just
plays
guard to
away
do
from the
guard stuff.
ball. To keep the floor balanced. But at the same time, a Zach Levine, Tyrese Maxey backcourt crazy. Tyrese Maxey, um, Dejounte Murray backcourt crazy. Right.
I'll say this though, as of like last week, Sham said like the Sixers aren't interested in DeJounte or Pascal or Zach Levine. Now Pascal's already gone. Zach Levine is still available and DeJounte is still available. But
Right.
according to Sham Sharania, he's
That
they're
was
not
in that
interested.
moment though.
Yeah, I mean things can change week over week, right? That was last week. So.
Right. Yeah, that was
And
that was
as
and
things get as things heat up, there will be reactionary trades.
yes.
Whereas like a team sees this guy upgrade, it's like, okay, we gotta do something here.
Right.
Then they'll have to up the ante in terms of assets and get the deal done, right?
Right. Right.
So this might be one of the most.
Don't be surprised if Indiana trades for one of them either. Right. Because Chet, the reason why I'm saying be aware, be cognizant, turn your radar on is because the Knicks are not the only team that's 4 through 11 that wants to jump into that big three, right? Orlando wants to be a part of that big three right now.
Mhm.
Indiana wants to be in that big three. Name a team that we rarely mention, right? Cleveland wants to be in that big three, and they have the talent. Cleveland, right? Listen, y'all, we could say what we want to say, but if Cleveland wanted to make a move for a superstar, they have all the pieces and the picks to do it. Right? They gave up stuff for Spider, right? But if they wanted Trey Murphy and Herb Jones and Brandon Ingram or whoever, they could send Darius Garland and Jarrett Allen right now if they wanted to, right? And I know that sounds crazy, right? But look at their record with all of their guys together and look at their record without Darius Garland.
Mhm.
And I
They
know what
they're
people are going to
winning.
say.
It, it but I'll put it this way: Darius Garland is their insurance for when Donovan leaves. That's that's how they view him.
Or,
And I really don't see Donovan staying. I don't. I,
right.
I just
But this
don't.
is a
But it
two
could
year,
happen. But I don't.
but this is a year and a half window, right?
Yeah, yeah,
This is a year and a half window, right?
yeah.
Man, they could go out and get, for example, the missing piece in Oklahoma City, in my opinion, is Jared Allen. Right? That's their missing piece.
Uh,
Right? Because Chet at times gets bullied around the rim. At times, not all the time. Right? But bigs get worn down around the rim when they're battling down there by themselves for 48 minutes. Right?
I was
And
gonna. Yeah,
OKC's biggest issue is when Chet goes off the floor,
they downsize
they
real
are
bad.
super small. Yeah, they're super small.
And the reason why OKC gets by it playing that small is because they're the best shooting team in the NBA from
Yeah.
the fields, from three, and the free throw line. So
Yeah.
they're so efficient, it can make up for the fact that they're getting bullied on the glass. But when they're not shooting well, they can't win if they're not shooting well.
Yeah, they can, yeah.
But unfortunately for them, they seem to shoot well more often than not compared to everyone else. But you
Right.
can't rely on that to win playoff series. Like you got to
No,
be able to grind out a game or two. Like
right.
there's going to be games where you shoot 42 from the field, but you win because you took care of the ball and you got some turnovers
Right. Well, but let me
and
let
you
me ask you
rebounded.
this. In terms of the Cleveland point, though, that I just wanted to finish up real quick.
Yeah,
Is it Darius Garland have value around the NBA?
of course,
Does Donovan Mitchell have value around the NBA?
of course.
Does Evan Mobley have value around the NBA?
It's
Does Jared
skyrocketing
Allen have
now.
value around it? Bro,
Well,
they
Jared
could
Allen's value is skyrocketing right now,
right now it's skyrocketing, bro.
especially
Right?
when those. It's kind of funny because when you watch the Cavs right now, because they lost Evan Mobley and the spacing that he took away from them, and they lost
Darius
Darius
Garland.
Garland, they're kind of imitating those Utah Jazz teams where they just flood Donovan Mitchell with shooters around him,
Right.
and they have the sole singular big man on the court and Gobert, and they just let him
Right.
cook. Just let him cook.
And they're winning a lot of regular season games. Now, will it win in the postseason? We
No,
don't
not like
know.
that. They need Mobley and Garland to win postseason games, in
Yeah,
my opinion. So
yeah, right. This is basically what I'm saying is teams around the NBA outside of the Knicks have talent also, and they want to go. They want to get in that big three in the East also, right? And so we're in this thing where we have tunnel vision, we have blinders on, thinking just stay in our lane. That the people over there don't exist. The people over there don't exist. Nah, man. Yo, if you
it's an arms race. Everyone's getting
yes,
better. You got to be able to, and you can't. You just can't be. You can't just stay still while everyone's getting better.
right. So while we're shopping, while we're texting, talking about AJ Griffin, right? Cleveland is saying, no, we need more than that for Evan Mobley. You can't just give us, you know what I'm saying, Trey Murphy and Herb Jones and Najee Marshall. We need more than that for Evan Mobley because at some point, Evan Mobley is putting together, like, for instance, Evan Mobley is putting together for his career the quietest Chris Bosh career you've ever seen, right? People are always like, yo, he should be the best player in the league by now. But then when you look at his numbers, he's like, damn, you know, this dude is kind of good. He's kind of good.
Yep.
You know, but when you take a player that high, kind of good is not good enough.
No, you need great. Unfortunately.
Yeah. 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 It's when you look at Jalen Green, you're like, okay. Jalen Green is not Kobe. He's not the Filipino Kobe like he said he was gonna be
He is actually the worst shooting player that
in the
averages
NBA.
15 points
Yeah,
per game.
yeah.
His
I
shot
think it,
selection is absolutely terrible.
that's why that's you remember when people used to say give the keys to such and such? And I was like, bro,
So
when
this is what happens when you give the keys too early.
either you get Anthony Edwards or you get Jalen Green. Right. And the thing is there is never a middle ground, right? Because the middle ground is never good enough.
to
In
not
order for
not
you to give the
to for that.
keys to somebody for 2 years, you don't care. You don't want them to turn out to be Devin Vassell. That's not what you want, right? Devin Vassell is not good enough to give the keys to. You don't want to have you don't want arrested development, right? You want
It's like one of those things where do you start your quarterback that you drafted #1 overall, or do you redshirt him? And in past iterations of the NFL, they benched him for at
right,
least maybe half the year, right?
right,
Now it's just like, yo, we got to see what you can do right now, and not everyone's going to be C.J. Stroud, evident
right.
by what you're seeing on the Panthers, right?
Yeah, yeah. Bryce Young. It's not Bryce Young's fault, man. I
But
watched
they could
them on.
easily ruin him. It's not his fault, but they could easily do
Yeah,
irreparable damage to him,
yeah, yeah,
putting him in situations like that. Because not
yeah.
everyone can thrive immediately. Like CJ Stroud is an anomaly. People need to realize that you're not supposed to look like that when you first start.
It's the perfect case of a fairly talented player going to the perfect situation, right? Because CJ Stroud is not more physically gifted than anybody else in the NFL, right? He doesn't think the game at a higher level than Pat Mahomes and all those guys, even though his numbers suggest he should be in that category, right? What I'm saying to everybody is the Houston Texans, when they get it right when they get a talented quarterback, they get man. Look,
Outside of David Carr, they killed David Carr.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, they ruined
yeah.
him.
But they had a Matt Schaub run. You remember Matt Schaub?
Yeah, well, I thought he was a journeyman before, and then they just figured him out.
He
They
was
drafted him.
nah. I can't remember if they drafted him or not. I can't remember if they drafted him or not. But they had a. But the point I'm making, though, everybody is what the Knicks need: the veteran point guard, the wing scorer, the defensive wing off the bench, and another big. They need a big guy because
What's Rondo up to?
I don't know. We
I
need,
would
yeah,
I
we
would give Rondo a
definitely
vet
need
minimum just to sit on the bench and talk.
just to see him and Tibbs argue all game. I would love it, bro. Yeah,
Uh,
man. Yeah,
but
man.
but but I'm and to be honest, like those things that you're describing, it would be best if you could get a few of those characteristics in one player.
Right. Right.
Like that description, like two of those things could fit
Right.
in like a Brogdon,
Yeah.
where it's like a veteran leadership, can play point, can score, is big enough to defend multiple positions,
Yeah.
professional scorer.
Alec Burks, to
Yeah,
me, I think
Alec Burks is actually playing at a very very good level, but his contract is kind of weird, so I don't know
yeah.
if that's even
And it's January,
doable.
bro.
So yeah, it's January. So
Hey, man, I'm all tuck it out. That's all I got, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm in here struggling, man. Yeah.
get better, man. Get better.
Yeah, I'm in here struggling, y'all. Thank y'all for rocking, man. I'm sorry. I wanted to go like 4 hours, and then Wiz just got here. Wiz says Herb Jones fits two of those descriptions. Wiz, man, yeah. I'm gonna get out of here and try to save some of this voice. Man, I might have to use a sick day tomorrow, man. But yeah, y'all. Thank y'all for rocking. And Joy, thanks for rocking with me for a little bit, man. I'm sorry I ain't have
You good, man?
the stamina to kick it. I should have, but things over to y'all, man.
You good, brother?
Hey, thank y'all, everybody. Peace, y'all.
Peace.